guys? How's everybody doing tonight? Happy Thursday, guys. Welcome to the Choose to Change, guys. Tonight we got something very special from our brother Orlando. But before we start, just let, let me introduce Choose to Change, guys. Welcome, everyone. My name is Rudy, and I'm a proud member of the Choose to Change mentoring program. The Choose to Change mentoring program is a self-supporting, Christian-based group sponsored by the Choose to Change Foundation. There's there is no fee to attend this class, but we do encourage donations from our member and anyone else who believes in what we do. The only requirement for membership is a sincere desire to change your life. Who wants to change your life? You're in the right place and the right channel. So we are on a mission to restore families by inspiring, challenging, and equipping men to become better fathers and husbands and leaders in our community. So if you are ready to change your life, then you're in the right place. Shabadia? Through this program, you will learn exactly where to start your life change journey, tools, resources to keep you going, and a support system to help you reach your goals. Because some of us need help to reach your goals, right? That's right. The Choose to Change mentoring program believes in three key principles of life. Number one, we believe in the life-changing power of God through faith in Jesus Christ. Number two, we believe that God has already done his part and that it is our responsibility to learn to do our part. Number three, success or failure is a choice, and the choice is yours. So welcome again, guys. So if you are ready, say I am. Thank you, guys. It's a wonderful week. I know I had a rough week, but you know what? I look forward to every Thursday. And this is like it gives me more like food or something for my body, man, because I need it during the week. So it's really motivated, in other words, So it gets me through the week. So let's give it up our brother Orlando. Come and get the pulpit because he's got something powerful for tonight, guys. Give him a hand.
All right, Rudy. Let's do this, man. Let's do this. Everybody have a good attitude today? Yeah? Let's get pumped up. Let's get pumped up. From the shotgun. We don't want no plum syndrome here today. Don't you get excited? I wanna thank everybody for being here. Thank you for being here. I like what Rudy said. I had a rough week. It's been rough. Who's had a rough week? If you didn't, that's awesome, right? You guys didn't. You had an awesome week. That's awesome. We have newlyweds here. They just got married. Yeah. Rick and Kimberly finally tied the knot. Finally. That's incredible. That's incredible. And I'm so encouraged. I'm so excited because of what God is doing in our ministry, in our church, in our people, and just in people in general. And one more person I want to thank, and I want to just do a shout out, to single moms. Man, single moms, you're awesome. You're awesome. It's amazing what you guys do. So if you're watching me online and anybody have a single mom, man, my hat's off to you. It's an amazing, amazing feat that single mothers do. Amazing. Amazing. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And that's why today, even when I go out and preach, when I go out to, I sometimes stop and just thank the church and just thank the single mothers, because my wife prays for single mothers, because she had to be a single mother for so many years, and because of me. And so I'm grateful for the single mothers. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And let's get started. Single parents. How's that? Let's get there's more single mothers. That's why so. But you're included, brother. No, and this is what we're fighting for. Listen, because there's some men out there that will finally get it, right? Like Leon, they finally get it, and they might have to struggle themselves, and it's a fight. But this is what this is all about. This is why we turn to God as Christians for help, to help us through these challenging times, because they're going to come. They're here. And we have to fight through them. And you're either going to give up or you're going to move forward. And it's getting harder and harder in this life, in this society to live. I want to talk about attitude today. Your favorite subject. I want to talk about attitude today. My name's Orlando, and I am just the founder of this organization, Choose the Change. And we teach something every single Thursday to help you move forward in life. I want to talk about attitude tonight. So, the first question of the evening is a good attitude important? Yes, right? Everybody would agree to that, right? So why do you have a bad attitude? A positive attitude, a good attitude is really important. Really, that's what I mean. A good attitude, what I really mean is a positive attitude. Is a positive attitude important? Yes, and the answer is yes. Our attitude is one of the most important, if not the most important, part of our character, right? Because that's what most people see, right? It's your attitude. Who's ever met someone with a bad attitude? Right? Who knows someone with a bad attitude? Right? And someone with a bad attitude, it's hard to speak to them, right? Or to try to help them until they let down their guard. Our attitude has a major impact. Major. And this is something I didn't know. Impact on how you live and how we live our lives, and how our lives will turn out. Our attitude. Some people get old holding on to their bad attitude. And they're full of regret and pain, suffering. It's just painful to watch. Bad attitudes. Achievers, people who achieve things in life, who make things happen, have what I call, I've done this before here in Choose the Change, that can-do attitude. That sets them apart from mere dreamers. See, we all dream. When we're young, we dream. Right? Jason, do you dream? Yeah. We dream of things in life and what we can do and what we aspire to do, things that are happening. We think when we're young, we can dream big. Right? And that's okay. Until life hits you in the face and you say, oh, wait a minute. Let me rethink this. But that doesn't mean you cannot achieve great things. You can. We just have to learn to reach them. People who have overcome tragedy or some terrible abuse or setback in life. We have a few in here that have suffered and overcome tragedy in their lives. Death, divorce, abuse, right? Or am I just speaking to... It's hard. Terrible abuse or setbacks are people who have developed a strong, positive attitude. You have to develop a strong, positive attitude. No matter the obstacles. These people who overcome, they are willing to put forth the effort and pay the price. So there is a price to pay to overcome everything that comes their way. I know men right now, women right now, that are willing to pay the price. No matter what comes their way, they're going to press through. They're going to make it. They are going to overcome. They're going to the top. That's the positive attitude that you're going to need to be able to overcome your monsters, your mountains, your problems. Every great mind or successful person I've ever read about or known in any area of life, sports, church, business, any area of life, agrees that a positive attitude is the key factor in having success in life. Positive attitude. And again, whether it be in your personal life, your spiritual life, business, sports, didn't matter. So, with all that said, I'm here to tell you that a positive attitude is part of the process here. A positive attitude will definitely play a major part in your life change journey. Fair enough? Positive attitude. It is literally the difference between success and failure. Man, because it's so easy to get a bad attitude. It just is. It's been said that a bad attitude is like a flat tire. You ever heard that one? If you don't change it, you're not going anywhere, Leon. We need to change. We need to change your attitude. Your attitude will affect how you act and how you respond. Your attitude will affect how you act and how you respond to your circumstances. So I have a question for you today as we move forward. What kind of attitude do you have? Maybe you had to ask this one. What kind of attitude did you walk into this room today with? There you go. So let's look at where does attitude come from? This is what the whole process of change is. Helping you understand yourself. Helping you understand why you are the way you are. Helping you understand why you do the things you do. Helping you understand why you act the way you act. This is the process of change. So we're going to look at it. Where does your attitude come from? Your attitude has everything to do with how you think. Mindset. Everything to do with how you think. It's your perspective. What you see. How you see your parents. How you see your wife. How you see your siblings. How you see life. Perspective. How do you see the world around you? This is why we talk about mindset so much here in this room. Basically, it has to do with everything you have in your mind. Your philosophy, your way of thinking. This is why, desire, faith plus mindset equals attitude. And then it also equals habits, because attitude plus habits equals what? Your lifestyle, which gives you your results. So, as you've been in your life change journey, Rick, since when you started, you can see the process and you can see the progress. Right? Can you see it? Can your wife see it? Amen. Yeah. We can see the progress because you're going, you're going in there. So let me give you 4 areas where your mindset. Well, let me read this. Your mindset, your philosophy, how you think, has to do with what you know. Listen to this. Listen to this, because this is important. Don't lose this part right here. Your mindset. What I talk about when I talk about the mind, it has to do with what you know and what you believe. Okay? You got that? It has to do with what you know. Your attitude, listen to this, don't lose this one, has to do with how you feel about what you know. Just think about that for a minute. It's how this works. When I thought about that, I said, In other words, what you have in your mind, which is why this is so huge, and I'm not going to go into it, but everything we have in here, our factory of information that we have in our mind, greatly affects who you are. Does that make sense? So if you have a twisted mind, what? You're twisted. You're gonna have a twisted attitude, right? And then if you add a little bit of cocaine into it, now you get speedy, twisty attitude. And then you add a little booze into it, right? So can you see how twisted we were? We were twisted. Super twisted. So remember, your mindset has to do with what you know, the information you have. Your attitude has to do with how you feel about what you know. So here you go. Here's the 4 areas, key areas in your life that affect your attitude about your attitude. It has to do with how you feel about your past. Right? You have an attitude towards your past. There's some things in your past that someone brings up and boom, it changes your attitude. You see how that works? Oh, you can think of it right now. You know, a divorce, a death. I mean, this is super, super important to understand. Tragedy, sickness. You know, I remember when my dad died. I was in the Philippines. And I mean, how do you 18-hour flight? And I remember my sister calling me on my wife's phone, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning in the Philippines. And I said, but I saw it with my wife, so I said, I'm going to answer it. But it was my sister. And she said, Dad's in the hospital. I just want you to see him. And she turned the phone, and they were trying to pump him to life. Man, that's like, wow, man. I mean, what do you do? I remember just dropping to my knees and saying, Dad, help my dad. But, because I prayed for him plenty of times, he'd suffered for so long, my attitude was, he's ready to go home. He needs to go home. He needs to go home to rest. But you see, events in your life start shaping your attitude, your past. Does that make sense? Let me give you the second one that'll shape your attitude. And this one is really the one that you need to concentrate on. Your future. Your future. Your future, what I believe my future is going to be like gets me up in the morning. I'm serious. What I have today and where I'm going gets me up. I have a good attitude about it. I'm excited about the future. But what if you don't think your future has much? What if you think, man, I'm just never going to do anything. I'll be just a loser all my life. I'm just don't know. Whatever it is for you in your mind. What kind of attitude? That attitude? Where is that? Because you don't have no hope for the future. You have a bad attitude, right? But everything changes when you start believing something different about your future. The third thing, and I'm just touching on these because I can do whole teachings on this stuff. Let me tell you the third one that affects your attitude is how you see your present. how you see where you're at today. In other words, one of the biggest obstacles that we face as human beings is that sometimes all we look at is where we're at, right? We can't seem to see where we're going because we have no vision for the future. So we're just here. You know, you have the plum syndrome, right? Poor little old me. Or you've joined the TGIF group, right? You've joined that group, the TGIF. What is that? Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Ah. Because that's your biggest excitement. And it's exciting, don't get me wrong. I like Fridays too. But if that's all you're looking forward to, then you're going to be real frustrated all week long. Because Monday's around the corner. So then I've learned to say, thank God it's Monday. Yeah, I joined the Thank God It's Monday group. They changed my attitude. I'm excited where I'm at today. I have to. And the last one is really important también. What's all of it? Your attitude will be affected by how you feel about yourself. When you look in the mirror. That's huge. Right? That is huge. Because why? Let me tell you why because I look at myself in the mirror and I see my mistakes. I see my failures. I see my shortcomings. I see how much I messed up. I see the regret I have. I see the pain I've caused. I see that, right? So what does that produce? It produces an attitude. And so those very important things in your life you have to learn to start working with. Because it affects your attitude, your past, your future, your present, and how you see yourself. So, does anybody have any questions before we move on? Anybody? No questions? Ni uno. Can I get a water, please? Just one question. Then let's look at how to improve our attitude. How's that? Awesome. One question. Find it.
Like, let's say you have a change of attitude, like today, right?
Okay.
And then tomorrow your attitude is completely different. Like you're like back at square one. You know, you have to kind of like reset your attitude. Like
That's exactly what
like
you have to do
daily,
every single day.
Yeah.
You have to create a reset button. Serious, true story. Every day. I'm serious because it's just not going to get easier by chance, right? It's going to get easier by what? By choice. You have to choose the button. I remember when I was in prison. It's hard to keep a good attitude in prison. When it's hot, you eat a bunch of Johnnies, they lock you down. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough to have a good attitude. But I remember I chose to have a good attitude, and I'll never forget. I'll never forget when I learned the scripture that said, "Today is the day that the Lord has made, and I'm going to rejoice in it and be glad." So I used to tell that to people. They probably looked at me like, "This is a religious nut." I say, how you doing? Today is the day that the Lord has made, and I'm going to rejoice in it whether you like it or not. So that's what I did. I learned to have a good attitude. which is, we're going to go there. Check this out. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about developing and improving your attitude. Have you ever heard the scripture, I can do all things through Christ to strengthen me? Who's heard that? You've seen it on walls. You've seen it in bathroom walls, right? You've seen it everywhere, right? Who's seen it? I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. That was Paul the Apostle in Philippians 4:13. But let me read you, listen closer to this, what he was saying in context. Okay? So listen closely, because he was talking to this people, he was talking to the people, right, of Philippi, and he was explaining to them, listen, this is, you do this, you do this. In case you didn't know this, the books that Apostle Paul wrote, they're all teaching you. They're all designed to teach you certain circumstances, certain things about life. And he's teaching them about life and how to overcome and how to change their attitude. Listen closely. He says, now I don't speak. He was in prison writing this. Listen to what he says. In Philippians 4:11, he says, listen, I'm not talking about that I have a lot of need, that I need for you to help me. He says, for I have learned, Jessica. It says, I have learned in whatever state I am in to be what? Content. I know how to be abased, how to not have anything. I know how to abound. I know how to have great riches. He had a lot of power. The Apostle Paul was a powerful man. He says, everywhere and in all things. So when he said, Pastor, you know what all means, right, in Greek? All. He says, in everywhere and in everything, I have learned. I have learned. That's what he said. Both to be full and to be hungry. Both to abound and to suffer need. And then he says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. But what did he have to do? He had to learn. See, in other words, it's your responsibility. Your attitude is your responsibility. Or have you ever heard someone say, man, that's just the way I am? I've said it. That's just the way I am. That's just the way I am. That's how I am. Oh, yeah? Well, then he has a job then. So, because that is our default. But I have some amazing, exciting news for you. You can change. See, that was the revelation for me of my lifetime. You just don't understand how big that was for me. It's still powering me forward till today. That a loser like me could change his life. That blew me away. It just blew me away. I said, man, is that possible? That's what Rudy used to say. Is that man? When is that possible? I want that. That's why today he owns his own business. See, what you see, it's your responsibility. Listen to this. It's your responsibility is what you see, what you listen to, what you choose to put into your mind, what you choose to believe, to feed your mental factory. Because everything you put in there, and then how you believe it, your attitude is you're responsible. So let me close with the high road. I've read this before, but I think it's fitting today. Let me share an illustration with you. So the story goes, remember, everything you put in your mind, you put in it. You allow it. You have to start cleaning it out. So, The story goes that the man at work opened his lunchbox and he looked at it and there was a sandwich in his lunchbox. And he said, "Man, a sandwich again?" And he went off. "Man, I'm tired of sandwiches. I don't want no more sandwiches. Sandwich, 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 sandwich. I want some." And his buddy said, "Hey, calmate. Calm down. Calm down. What's going on?" He says, "I got another sandwich." He said, "Look, listen, just tonight, just go home, talk to your wife, don't be mean, and just tell her you don't want sandwiches anymore." And the guy looks at him and says, "I pack my own lunch." What the? Are you getting this? So who packed your mind? You did? The moral of the story is all that baloney you carry around, you packed it. Bam! Should have recorded that one. Just came up with it right now. No, just kidding. I wrote it down. You packed it. Your attitude. So let me give you some action steps to start working with. Yeah? Real simple. Let's move forward and start developing a better attitude. Number one, read something this week. Start reading a proverb a day. Reading is huge. I mean, you cannot get around reading if you want success, if you want to change, if you want to move forward. You have to read because you're going to get bored. Especially after you left drugs and alcohol. There's a big void that you have to feel. So then start reading a little bit, 5 minutes a day, a page, something you like. Oh, maybe. Next, secondly, take note of your attitude. In other words, what's your attitude? You have to catch it, right? Then you have to, once you catch it, you say, okay, why am I like this? You know, because you're angry, because of your past, because of you have to check it. You have to put it on check. You know, we're gonna start going to a juvenile rehab. We got confirmed it today. Pastor Joe Albert's going to go preaching we're going to try to do it every Monday. He's going to go start preaching. And I'm going to go teach on another day, teach what I teach here. But I'm learning that teenagers, they have an attitude because that's what they develop. I mean, that's just how it is. So if there's no one to stop them, they're going to develop a bad attitude about life. So a lot of people in juvenile systems don't have a father. So they go on and just, because when you're young, man, you're just ruthless. You're ruthless when you're young. I mean, teenagers are ruthless. Am I right or wrong? Single mothers. They're ruthless, man. You have to put them in check because that's just natural in us. So yeah, you have to check your attitude and how you respond. And the third thing is that you have to stop doing something today that you already know you need to stop. How about that? How about that for action? Today, if you choose to, you can change your life forever, the man said. Today, if you choose to, you never have to be the same again. Isn't that powerful? So what's for me? So meditate and think about these things. I'm going to give you Philippians 4:8. The same chapter where Paul was reading. He tells you how to keep a good attitude. You want me to read it to you? It's biblical. Here you go. Philippians 4:8. Finally, my brothers, finally, he says, after he taught you all these things, how to learn, how to overcome, and then he says, finally, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of our good report, if there be any virtue, if there's any praiseworthiness of these things, he says, think on these things. And guess what's going to happen, he says? The things which you learned, listen to what Paul said. The things which you have learned and received and heard and saw. Wow. He says, the things that you have learned, received, heard, and saw in me. He made himself the example. He says, do those. And this is what's going to happen. And the God of peace will be with you. So we must start filling our minds with positive, encouraging things. I mean, it's really simple, right? But we don't think about this stuff. That's why I like teaching it, because it's simple to teach now for me. So it makes me sound like I know a lot. I just focus on things that help me move forward. This is what I started doing when I was in prison. I started reprogramming my mind. I'm telling you, it's a monster. It's not easy to do. Simple steps, but not easy. Any questions as we close? I'm just going to close with a read here. Everybody good? Any questions? Comment, yeah.
Reinforcing what you said about
He-
focusing on the good rather than the bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you, I did have heard it before that when you look forward to your character or you work on your character
Yep.
assets,
That's right.
your character defects begin to disappear.
That's correct. It's kind of like that's a good illustration, like friends. If you focus on good friends, the bad ones will leave by themselves. You don't have to tell them anything. And if they don't want to leave, tell them about Jesus. They'll leave. True story. Yes, sir.
Or do it like me, brother, que me llegaron allí y me sacaron el topo, brother, y lo agarré el topo y se lo tiré en el piso y lo pachurré.
¿Y qué te
Never
dijeron,
came-
brother?
They didn't come around no more. They were upset. It was a $20 joint. So.
Ah, kid. Hijo de su- So I hope you guys were learning something. Let me close with the high road. This is the high road for life. Period. Life and leadership. Life and leadership. Listen, in life and in leadership, you will find people will treat you badly. They will. That's unavoidable. People are going to treat you badly. People are going to be prejudiced. People are going to be hateful. You have three options. When you are treated in this manner, you're either going to take the low road, where you treat people worse, right? Oh, see, hey, tú. Or you're going to take the middle road, where you treat people the same. You treat me like that, I treat you like that, right? Or you're going to take the high road and treat people better than they treat you. This is powerful stuff. It's hard to do. But this is what builds your character. A leader or any person, you must commit to taking the high road when others intentionally or unintentionally do wrong. In other words, you know when someone done something for you and you say, they know. Well, yeah, they're trying to hurt you. And you have to take the high road. You have those three choices. We all mess up. We all have annoying quirks, quirks, quirks. Yeah, that. And there are times when we're not pleasant to be around. All of us. When you recognize your humanness and you know and you need and have received grace, you are more open to taking the high road and extending grace to others. I think this is what I've been able to do because I understand what God has done for me. It's very difficult to get me mad. Very difficult for you to offend me. Very difficult. I take the high road. No one takes the high road by accident. It's a choice. You must consistently choose that path. The high road is not the easiest road. It goes uphill. It takes more effort to travel it. But it is the only road that leads to the highest level of living and leading. Find encouragement in the words of Kevin M. Keith, who wrote this paradoxical commandments of the high road. They will help you choose the high road in your life. Listen to this. People are illogical, unreasonable, and self-centered. Love them anyway. If you do good, people will accuse you of selfish motives. Do good anyway. If you are successful, you will win false friends and true enemies. Succeed anyway. The good you do today will be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Honesty and frankness makes you vulnerable. Honesty and frankness makes you vulnerable. Be honest and frank anyway, not too frank. The biggest man and women with the biggest ideas can be shut down by the smallest men and women with the smallest minds. You think big anyway. People favor the underdog but follow only top dogs. I guess. Fight for a few underdogs anyway. What you spend years building may be destroyed overnight. Listen closely. What you spend years building can be destroyed overnight. Build anyway. People really need help, but may attack you if you try to help them. Help them anyway. Give the world your best you have, and you'll be kicked in the teeth. You give the world the best you have anyway. That's powerful, right? Leaders don't take the high road because it's the only available option, but because it's the best option. High road rollers aren't victims, they're victors. The author of Proverbs stated it like this. This discretion of a man makes him slow to anger, and his glory is to overlook a transgression. When you respond to ill treatment with grace and forgiveness, you display an admirable character that elevates you in the eyes of others and allows you to experience the high road principle. You go to the higher level when you treat others better than they treat you. Amen. I hope you learned something else. Guys, I'm going to pass around the donation bucket. I want you to know that we're having impact. Like I said earlier, we're going into the juvenile. This is a huge step for our church and for the Choose the Change Foundation. There's a lot of juveniles that need help. Who would agree to that? It's just wicked stuff, man. And I'm just fortunate to be part of this. You know, we are going to continue fighting the good fight of faith, challenging men, fighting fatherlessness, drug addiction, family violence, all just by challenging men to become more effective fathers, husbands, and leaders in our society. So I hope I've challenged you. I hope I've helped you. And I really want to thank you for being here today. Thank you for watching us. God bless you. We'll see you next week. By the way, next week I have a special guest. You don't want to miss it. Special guest. Surprise. That's all we have. God bless you.